Hello, I'm Mantastic'c and Fantastic, and today I want to talk about the new evolutions and upgrades which just gone live in North America. So, for the most part, these evolutions are going to touch various 6-star Godfist exclusives, Liu Bei, and some seasonal cards. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it because I actually own many of the cards. So, for Fenrir Viz and his new green form, he is alright, I feel, for the most part. Your double 10 combo, you can have up to 4 Ls, which means the Void Assist Latent can, in theory, come into play with them. And then when I think about it, double 10 combo, make an L, it's actually large amounts of personal damage. It's just less convenient, so to speak. Now, when we look at their actual active skill, it's a 3-turn cooldown that gives you a health cut to 1, which is obviously quite risky. And then you also pierce through the enemy's damage void for a single turn. So a 3-turn void damage void on a non-transforming card is not bad, not amazing, but it's not bad overall. You're also able to inherit something over top of it and gain value from the inherited weapon assist because it's most likely to charge up in a reasonably timely manner. But I feel like Fenrir Viz is just kind of situational overall. For his weapon assist, it's 2 Ls and 2 enhanced wood combo awakenings. So I definitely feel like this could be utilized on mono wood teams if mono wood teams were to make a resurgence. This could be potentially useful in that aspect because even just having 1 L can be nice to unlock the board, and maybe if you want to abuse the new assist void latent. For their blue form, they've got 10 combo. They got 4 crosses with a chance to get a 5th cross. So in theory, a single cross can deal large amounts of personal damage. Their active skill is a 50% HP heal, all orbs enhanced, 2 times attack for all allies for 1 turn. I just don't quite know where I would be able to truly utilize this card overall. So it's just going to be like, it exists, but I don't quite know what to do with it. On the other hand, I like this weapon assist because the weapon assist is a single cross attack while above 50%. And a team HP awakening. So it's a nice spread of awakenings. There's some offense, there's the cross for utility and more offense and bulk. So there's not too many downsides to this weapon assist, and I feel like this is a weapon assist I will try and make and then just have it in my monster box, and it's always available. I like being able to put a single cross awakening on any given team, and this comes with other useful awakenings. I'll try my best to not let it overcharge, but maybe say your raw dragons, or any transforming card, it's transforming card or transforming active skill card can make use of this because it probably won't overcharge when you enter the dungeon. You change their active skill and then you're just kind of repeating that base active skill once it's been transformed. So I think this is quite a nice weapon assist for that reason. On the other hand, Liu Bei has finally received a super reincarnated evolution. So who out there remembers Liu Bei Zeus Dios farming? Because that was actually quite a cool thing when you really think about it. It was a thing. And now I guess you still can make it a thing. Their active skill has been improved to give a full cleric style active skill including Bind, Awoken Bind, and Unmatchable, along with board unlock, as well as changing Dark and Hearts to Wood, and then a full HP heal. So that's pretty nice. You flood the board with wood orbs, you have the cleric aspect, and you get to heal to full health. They have double 10 combo with the chance to gain another, so they can be triple 10 combo with 5 wood rows, can obviously deal spectacular amounts of damage even on their sub attribute. It could be your cleric if you know that an 8-turn cooldown is something you are able to actually work around. On the other hand, their leader skill does technically still work for Zeus Dios swiping, but they are a scaling leader. They gain damage for each group of 6 linked wood orbs. So in theory, if you have ways to continuously flood the board with lots of wood orbs, this could be a potentially useful ability when you think about it if you're able to do that. And in theory, any scaling leader skill can be quite meaningful because you can just pump out spectacular amounts of damage. I feel like going on 7x6 won't be so desirable because then all those rows just completely go to waste. They don't have auto follow-up attacks, so maybe pairing with someone say maybe Nautilus. Who knows? I don't know, to be honest. Maybe. But yeah, possibilities may arise there. For their Super Awakenings, like I said, they already have triple 10 combo. For Super Reincarnated Ganesha, their main value is going to come from the fact that they have 1, 2, 3 dungeon bonus awakenings. And there are not too many cards of 3 dungeon bonus awakenings, so this can make your life much easier because you can possibly populate a team that has more dungeon bonus awakenings that wasn't coming from collabs or seasonals. So make Ganesha into this form, enjoy the extra dungeon bonuses, nothing else matters too much, but it is if I'm not mistaken, 1 turn cooldown less than Greed Dragon, so there's a little bit of an edge there, but it's still only 2 skill boosts if you take the third, which you should be taking Dungeon Bonus Awakening. Fujin received various colored evolution forms, and in her dark evolution form, it is double 10 combo, double triple attribute awakening with the ability to get a third 3 attribute awakening. So large amounts of personal damage can be had with Fujin here, and their active skill is a 6 turn cooldown that gives you an attack buff for only attacker types, unfortunately, for 6 turns, which is a looping attack buff. So if your team is comprised of hopefully attacker type cards, it can be quite a meaningful card overall in that sense. And then in addition to that, it's introducing a new mechanic of 2 turn delay, avoid damage absorption for 2 turns. So what this means is you pop the active skill on a certain turn, and then 2 turns later you receive the extra benefit. I can definitely foresee this being useful in dungeons where you have memorized the dungeon layout and you know when the absorption spawns will be spawning. Big drawback is there's no dungeon information available, so you either have to remember it or maybe look it up online possibly. So I feel like it has the potential to be great, but you have to know when to use it exactly, because arriving at the floor and be like, oh, I need damage absorption, it's not going to quite work. You have to wait for 2 more turns, unfortunately. On the other hand, her weapon assist I think is quite spicy as well. It has the negative skill boost awakening, which is definitely a penalty, but I feel like we definitely could work around it. It also gives you the 3 attribute awakening, 2 team HPs, 2 team RCVs. So pretty magical when you think about it for rainbow-based teams. Bulk, recovery, and added damage at the cost of only 1 skill boost. It's the same type of active skill, so maybe that could be useful, but you also could just simply use it for the 2 turns of damage absorption cancellation if you know when it's coming up. On the other hand, her light wood form has triple 10 combo with a cross, can have more skill boosts than L or VDP, so flexible super awakenings overall, and the active skill is 1.5 times orb movement time, and then on a 2 turn delay voids attribute absorption for 2 turns. That can be good as well when you think about it. Permanent uptime on your movement time can be great, because there probably will be times where you're playing and you're like, well, I need movement time. At least this loops itself, and the attribute absorption is definitely icing on the cake. Again, you just need to remember when this actually takes place. And at the same time, wood light or light wood cards are getting a bit of love, kind of Kami, Amino, and now I guess Fujin as well. You have the chance to possibly populate the team with these types of cards that can hit quite hard. On the other hand, her weapon assist is not quite as exciting for the light form. It gives the light sub-attribute effect as well as 2 heart orb awakenings, enhanced heart orb awakenings, and 20% blind jam or poison with that same type of active skill. I think it's reasonable, but it's not quite as strong as the dark form. The dark form is quite powerful in terms of the just pure awakenings it actually offers and a useful active skill. On the other hand, Raijin has received other colored evolutions, and for her red form, it's got four attribute awakenings with the potential to gain a 5th one. So again, large amounts of personal damage, and their active skill on an 8 turn cooldown, it's able to remove orb block, changes the board to all attributes plus heal, and then a 10% gravity and orb enhance. I feel like this could be a nice kind of card to whip out in, say, super gravity dungeons and or dungeons that have negative orbs galore, because once all those negative orbs had appeared on your board, you're able to enhance your way out of it and then just play as normal. And the gravity can be possibly meaningful depending on the type of dungeon you are playing through. For her red weapon assist, this is possibly one of the most exciting weapon assists that has come out for Godfest exclusives in recent time, especially 6-star level, because it gives the negative skill boost, which is a workaround we can overcome, but it gives the 4 attribute awakening, tape resist, and a dragon killer. And with the latest killer update, the dragon killer is actually worth 5 times personal damage against dragon type spawns with the 3 attribute awakening, which equates to 17.5 times personal damage against dragon type spawns for rainbow teams. And this, I feel like, has merits in obviously super gravity style dungeons where, amusingly enough, in UN 1 and 2, both the bosses are dragons, which means maybe your rainbow-based teams might be able to smash their way through with a bit more ease, especially on your harder hitting cards. But even then, even if they're not super hard hitting, you think about 3 attribute, 5 attribute, 5 times from Dragon Killer, spectacular amounts of damage output. For her wood light form, they have 4 enhanced heart combos, or 4 enhanced heart awakenings, triple 10 combo with a chance to get a 7 combo, or they could have 6 skill boosts. So great awakenings overall. She's pretty stacked in that sense. Her active skill is a 2-turn cooldown that gives you no skyfalls, removes orb blocks, and creates 3 orbs of each attribute and heal. This is kind of like Light Raw Dragon, except you have no transforming aspect, which means you don't have to go through the hurdles of transforming the active skill. That means you could inherit something on top that gives you something that's high impact that lets you overcome what you need to, deal with at the beginning of the dungeon. So with a low base cooldown, this will come up in time. It's a great alternative to, like, say, Raw Dragons or Red A10 or Sagri or whatever you're using for, like, closing the rainbow board changing loop. This is another and quite accessible option overall. For the wood weapon assist, they have the wood sub attribute, a cross awakening, and triple team RCV, which can be potentially useful. I don't like the fact that it's obviously favoring rainbow teams with a very low cooldown, so just be mindful of the fact that if you do use this evolution and weapon assist, make sure it doesn't overcharge, because it's probably not an active skill you want to have when I think about it. Next is Bride Roach, and she received new evolution. So she has 5 TPAs with a chance to gain a 10 combo or a single TPA, which doesn't make sense, but the 10 combo, so immense personal damage, and then balance attacker, physical, healer, killer awakenings. So against those respective type spawns, absolutely stupendous amounts of personal damage. Their active skill is a 1-turn cooldown, which means you can inherit anything over top of it. Maybe you want like a long-lasting shield, then you inherit Crusader Shield, because now you have a looping shield. But if you do use the active skill, it cuts your health to 1, which might be good for cards that actually want to be low health. And then you create 3 heart orbs at random, which again can be useful. For the most part, I feel like it's kind of a situational card, but then again, it can clear your unmatchable problems. It clears 10 turns of unmatchable if they take unmatchable latent, so that's something to possibly consider. On the other hand, her weapon assist is 2 negative skill boosts, but Dragon, God, and Devil Killer, which are arguably the more popular typings for a lot of endgame spawns. Like I mentioned before, the dragons in UN 1 and 2 are dragons, and the other killers are going to be spectacular amounts of damage output. If there's even 2 typing overlap, that's 25 times more personal damage for the owning card, which is pretty spectacular when you think about it. Next is Bride Yuri, who has become green, and they're pushing this green VDP meta, so to speak, but there's no one really great to use, I feel, for the most part. So with 4 VDP awakenings and the chance to gain a 5th one, it can be spectacular amounts of personal damage. They can act as a healing stick, and their active skill is a 6-turn cooldown that gives you 40% health heal for 6 turns, so a looping heal active skill, which is great for teams that take away heart orbs continuously. And then Wood Orb Skyfalls for 6 turns. Not bad. Kind of like if Wood receives like another nice swiping style card, maybe this could bring out some resurgence. Kind of like how Black Sun works so well with Christmas Celica because it gives that auto healing component. Maybe with Yuri, it could be one day in the possible future. For her weapon assist, it's 6 enhanced Wood Orbs and 1 enhanced Heart of Awakening, so just right there alone is pretty magical amounts when you think about it of orb enhancement, and the RCV stat is immense, so you inherit this on top of a card with naturally high RCV. They are going to heal significantly more in conjunction with the enhanced Heart of Awakening. It's just a good time overall. Beach Mariel, I feel, is definitely best in her light red form because it's almost like a staple on virtually every rainbow team. But if wood VDPs do become a thing, she has 6 VDPs with the potential to gain any super resist she wants or more skill boosts. And then the active skill is RCV and movement time buff for 1 turn, and then 1 turn later, damage and attribute absorption cancellation. So again, if you know the dungeon and you can plan it out well, this could be quite meaningful potentially because you're able to have a way to counteract those problems while also dealing with movement time and RCV debuffs. For Green Beach Mariel's weapon assist, it's a wood sub-attribute, 3 wood rows, and a VDP. So it obviously is great for, like, you know, those wood VDP teams, but Mariel's kind of possibly a card that would be great for those wood VDP teams, but you need to make it for the weapon assist for the VDP. I think it's just a little awkward overall. Maybe if you have lots of Beach Mariels and maybe if there's a great wood leader. I feel like it's just really Nautilus Christmas Manoa who might be able to use this, but again, I could be mistaken. For Beach Planar, she now has a light form, and this is kind of a bright idea because they have 3 10 combo awakenings and then a 4th one potentially with their super awakening. So immense amounts of personal damage on any given team when you think about it, and enhanced heart of awakening. So because it's 10 combos, she can be used essentially on any given team. Rainbow, Mono Light, maybe even Mono Water when I think about it, because the sub-attribute's going to be hitting for so much personal damage, and the active skill is quite strong. You gain 1.5 times allies attack and reduces damage for 2 turns. So a damage reduction shield is always useful because there are instances where you just can't survive these big hits because everything just hits so hard, and you obviously surviving is good. In addition to that, the attack buff can overwrite other attack debuffs, and then you change 6 non-light orbs to heal orbs, and then full board enhance. As a whole, Beach Planar I feel like has several great evolution forms, and there's just one more to add to the list of cool things she can do. So I feel like Beach Planar can be utilized on a wide variety of teams in her light water form. Monocolor, rainbow, doesn't really matter. She's going to do great things. For this weapon assist, it's 2 skill boosts, not negative, but 2 real skill boosts, and then 2 team RCVs in that same type of active skill, which can be potentially meaningful. For Super Reincarnated Lumiel, she has 3 10 combos and then a 4th 10 combo through her Super Awakening. So obviously immense amounts of personal damage. She has 4 enhanced Dark combo Awakening, so she's going to be spectacular on mono Dark teams, and she has a much higher attack stat compared to Ghost Ring, but her active skill is longer than Ghost Ring's, and she doesn't have skill boosts like Ghost Ring does, but her active skill, while longer, gives you 2 times ally attack buff, and then halves damage for a single turn. So again, those big hits maybe that you want to survive, you can survive them. And then you remove Orb Block and convert the whole board to Fire, Water, Wood, and Dark Orbs. And also remember, the fact that it's a 6-star rarity along with a low team cost means in leveling up dungeons or like say MD2, the alt form, she can potentially shine pretty bright. For Reincarnated Lube, he has now become a Brick-style card, and with that same active skill of his Super Reincarnated form, with double Brick Awakening, they could be a swipe team. Like, if Wood gets a swipe-based team for, like, blobbing, Lube could be a strong Cleric potential option with the Rose, the Brick, and the Super Jammer Resist. For Reincarnated Ganesha, I don't think any of this truly matters, because Ganesha is either going to be utilized for their EXP Gold bonus evolution form or their triple dungeon bonus super reincarnated form. So doesn't quite matter if these buffs are. I guess they're cool, but Ganesha's really only utilized for those aspects. For Fenrir Viz in their light form, they've gained a 10 combo if I'm not mistaken. So they have triple God Killer and a 10 combo awakening. So if you're a God type spawn, just be prepared to be deleted by Fenrir Viz. Their stats have been improved. Their leader skill has been improved, but we need to match jammers, which are just kind of awkward. On the other hand, Green Fujin has received various buffs. I believe they gained a VDP here and lost a 7 combo, but maybe their attack stat went up. I can't recall. But more so, it's their active skill that I think is most exciting. Is now a 10-turn cooldown for 2 turns of damage and attribute absorption cancellation, which is quite meaningful overall when you think about it. You do have your attack for fire attribute cards, but that can override attack debuffs. It does make the cooldown shorter overall, and she could gain a skill boost plus, or she could gain a 10 combo to deal more meaningful damage. For Raijin in her light dark form, which is heavily TPA oriented, she's got 8 TPA awakenings now, and her active skill I believe got reduced to a 4-turn cooldown, along with just having a stat improvement. So maybe if you need unmatchable clearing on your rainbow style teams, maybe it could work, maybe. On the other hand, Beach Planar did receive new awakenings, and she gained a 10 combo instead of a 7 combo, if I'm not mistaken. And then now she's a triple 10 combo Cleric. She's one of the hardest hitting Clerics in the game with a 6-turn cooldown that also gives you 3 turns of damage absorption cancellation. So, like I said, Beach Planar has many meaningful and valuable forms. Triple 10 combo is nothing to scoff at. That's going to hit huge on, again, a variety of teams. And of course, that VDP can be useful on their respective water teams. For Bride Yuri, I feel like her damage awakenings got improved. I don't quite remember, but it's double 10 combo, double 7 combo, and just, I feel like just better stats overall in that sense there. Nothing else changed, unfortunately, but I feel like she's just kind of a situational card overall. Bride Roach has received TPA pluses, if I'm not mistaken, and condensed her awakenings to be more effective overall, but nothing else actually changed, unfortunately. For her blue form, she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attack while below 50% awakening, so obviously can deal spectacular amounts of damage when you are low health. Has a low base cooldown. Maybe if you have teams that can get yourself to low health, maybe Bride Roach could be quite meaningful there. And then finally, if I'm not mistaken, Wedding Eshamali has now triple 10 combo with the potential to gain a 4th 10 combo awakening. She's light, so huge amounts of personal damage, 4 skill boosts, 6 enhanced light orbs, and the active skill is the same thing as it was before. It gives you 5 turns of... It's a 5-turn cooldown that gives you 8 turns of light orb skyfalls while changing wood, hearts, and hazards to light. So mono light teams can possibly rejoice because this can be a spectacular amount, like basically a great damage stick to have overall. For Wedding Sheet, she has 10 TPA awakenings, but I still haven't found a good place to actually utilize them, unfortunately. Like, sure, they maybe could clear unmatchable, but their active skill is a 5-turn cooldown that just doesn't quite do enough overall, I feel about. I guess Wedding Eshamali is kind of similar, but I don't know. It floods the board more. I don't know. I just feel like Wedding Sheet just doesn't have a great place to be truly taken advantage of at this point in time. And then for Beach Den Bola, her awakenings got changed a bit to have VDP, I believe, in her base awakenings, but her 7 combo was lost, but it doubled her attack value, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, basically the same damage output with a better actual chance to utilize VDP. And then for Beach Metatron or Wetatron, you are still the quad 10 combo awakening card, or maybe it just gained another 10 combo. Either way, quad 10 combo is starting to become more the norm, which I think is absolutely outrageous, but here we are, and she can deal monstrous amounts of damage, and if the bind, Awoken Bind, and Unmatchable is 5 turns or less, she can be a spectacular choice for your respective team. Reincarnate Lumiel, I think it's overshadowed by her new super reincarnated form, which just has a better spread of awakenings, I feel, overall. And that's all the new evolutions and upgrades. So it's quite a few exciting stuff overall. And I am definitely excited for Red Raijin's weapon and Dark Fujin's weapon assist because they provide immense amounts of utility, along with the fact that weapon assists age quite well when you think about it. Like, they last significantly longer in terms of viability, and Red Raijin with the Dragon Killer 4 attribute awakening, tape resist, pretty spectacular. Dark Fujin with the 3 attribute double team HP, double team RCB at only the cost of a negative skill boost, with also having a useful active skill is quite special. But with that being said, let me know what you, ladies and gentlemen, think about these cards in the comment section down below. Which one of them do you find most exciting? And if you did make some of these cards already, let me know. Either way, hopefully all you lovely ladies and gentlemen have a truly fantastic day. I wish you the best luck in your own pet adventures, and happy puzzling.